In this video, I'm going to go over my system of keeping safe the digital set of all my planner inserts and grids, along with the mods and the merge collection. So let's go. The first thing, location, location, location. I store my data in the following locations: my computer desktop, an external hard drive, a flash drive, the SD card on my tablet, and Google Drive. So yeah, that's 5 places. I always use the desktop folder to add new inserts and add any changes that I make to them. Using only the desktop to collect the PDF docs helps me to not forget where they are. And then I restart the process of moving them out to the other locations. Adding a date beside the folder title helps me make sure that they are all moved safely before deleting the old set. So let's just go over the basic procedure that I use. The instant download that you get when you either buy an insert or download one of the freebies arrive in zipped folders. And when you buy one, you also get a copy emailed to you. Now, this is the Peanut Planner Co. inserts that I'm talking about. So, one, I collect and folder all the original zip folders and get them onto an external drive. And then next, I zero in on the exact copy that I want. There are 2 versions, and I use version 1. There can be other variations as well, such as a Monday or a Sunday start, for example. Next, I pull that insert from the external source, and I rename it right away. Of course, you can always left-click and create a copy that way, but I just pull from the external source, so I'm sure not to make a mistake. And now I do this for all the inserts that I have, and then once I've gotten them all collected and named, I simply created a new folder to keep the PDFs in. So now I have a custom set, and I took the time to get this folder to an external source as soon as possible. And every time I collect new inserts, I take these same steps to add the new ones into the folder as soon as I can. And this ensures that I always have my inserts at my fingertips without fear of losing them. And I also have the original set to go to in case a file gets corrupted at some point. And so that's how you do it. Now, my folders are located here, and they're labeled HC, 8x5, 4x6, and 3x5. To take this a little further, the second part of this video is how I store my mods, my merges, and my grid pages. So this first folder that I want to go over is labeled 4x6 mods. And there's a couple folders here that says they're named first pages. And all that is where I took the pocket size that were 2 pages per PDF, and I put it into an online PDF tool and removed that second page. And so just so I have them, I kept those first pages, and they're in this they're in these folders here. Okay, so the next folder that's here, it says from 8x5 and from 3x5. And what that is where I experimented with the different percentages. Now, these 2 folders, you might not want to save your stuff like that. But I went ahead and did it anyway, just because I took the time to take those steps, so I took the time to save those steps. Now, the next folder here is called Merge Mods, and I use 2 different sizes for my books, just basic sizes. And so I'm going to look at this, I'm going to talk about this from the bottom up. I also like to use the Facebook group Lined Notes. And so I went ahead and pulled out these are freebies, by the way. So I went ahead and pulled out the A6 version, which is what I call 4x6. And I didn't rotate that one, but the half size, or A5, I did want to rotate that because when you're doing merges, you want to make sure that those grids line up, whether it's portrait or landscape. So that orientation is important. You want it to look right when it's printed, and if it's one of them's portrait and one of them's landscape, it's not going to come out right. Okay, and then the there's this 8x5 gray here, and I'm going to go ahead and open this up. There's a 30 there next to it because there are 30 items in this folder. Now this is where I've taken each insert that I want to merge and I added that second side. So you'll see number 71 here, and so I have box, cross, and lined on the other side. The title bar up here will tell me the paper size and the grid color and the grid per inch that's used. So 8x5 or A5 is on 5 per inch grid, and 4x6 or A6 is on 6 per inch grid. Now I just know that because that's the way I've laid it out, so I don't have to like specify that per inch number. I just know if it says 8x5 or 4x6 that I know what that's going to mean. Okay, so a quick look at the grid hard copies. So it's this folder right here that says HC grid for hard copy grid. Now I folder these up by grid color, and I have a set of 5 per inch and 6 per inch. So I'm going to open up this fade folder and just show you. You can see how they're lined up for 5 per inch in a box grid and 6 per inch, and then again for the cross grid. And finally, this folder right here, which I consider just about my most important folder. It's labeled 3 hard copy, and then it has a 101, which means there are 101 items in this folder. Now I have folders for the different mod percentages, and these are just the singles right here. Okay, and then I also have these 2 folders right here. So merge grid, and I have a set of both of the 5 and 6 per inch, and I have a set that is double-sided for each set. So I have a 5 per inch box on both sides, 6 per inch box on both sides, and then the same for the cross grid. And then I merged a set with a box on one side and the cross on the other. And now this folder here, which is merge Bujo, which is foldered by grid color and the size of the paper. And there's 3 PDFs in each. One's number 95, which is the month plus grid, and then it's listed with the color, the box grid at size, and then 136, which is 4 grid boxes plus the color cross at size, and then the Facebook freebie checklist with box at size. Now sometimes I substitute the checklist with a merged grid of the box and cross combo. I use that checklist for my important dates, and so sometimes I just like to write that out on a plain cross grid page. So this is the set that I carry to the print store. The specific items that I print regularly are here. My experience has been that the fuller the flash drive is, the slower it acts when I put it in those big print store printers. Now my root folder is 48 megabytes, but this flash drive copy is just under 3 megabytes. That's a big difference in the printer's ability to open those folders, and it definitely speeds up the process. And so that's the entire collection. And I'm sure that you can see why I say I put in some time and effort in getting this all put together. And I wasn't able to do it all in one sitting. It took several sit-downs to get them all in order. And when I saw my first prints, I wasn't happy with the cross grid lines or the fade grids. So I had to go back to the drawing board and try again. Showing you should allow you to make your own set in less time because I went so overboard with mine. Not everyone is going to want this many variations, but this should help no matter how little or more that you want in your collection. And I guess pulling this together was important to me because I don't want to take time out to have to rebuild these pages to be able to use them again. You know, that just seems like a big waste of time, doesn't it? So, if you think I did a good job here and I shared some valuable info, I hope that you'll consider giving this video a like. As always, thanks for watching, and see you next time.